Welcome to the Ecg Podcast, a show where some buddies who have never met in person gather remotely once a week to hang out and talk about our love of video games and other shared interests. I'm one of your hosts from Jacksonville, Florida. My name is Chris, and this evening I am joined by Adam from Lexington, Kentucky.
Can't see it. Never mind. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I try to do something cool with the card, but digital backgrounds don't want me to show off my cool cards, so I'll keep it to myself. Screw everybody else.
Right out. Yeah. We got Bobby Miller from Baltimore, Maryland.
How you doing?
Good to see you back, Bobby. And then introducing our new permanent co-host, we have our neighbor to the north, Erika from Ontario, Canada. How are you doing, Erika?
I'm good. Hello. You're all stuck with me forever now, and my weird casual game takes.
We're all casual game takes here. We're all casual. We all have casual game takes here. Look at that.
We're all the game.
We're all the game. Yeah, this is all the game. Oh boy, it's been a week, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm doing trainings right now at work, which I love, but it's mentally exhausting because I'm like on camera like all day, every day, pretty much. And I've just been doing a lot of talking and answering questions and instructing. Great job, but it has left me a little tired. I've had 2 naps today. I'm not even kidding. I had one at lunchtime and one after work. So you have to bear with my brain as it occasionally just switches off. On today's show, we are going to be talking about our ideal video game. And when I say our, I mean like individually. We'll talk about that and kind of debate what features make our ideal game if it was going to check all the boxes, if you were. We'll also be talking about my impressions of the Back 4 Blood beta, which I got to check out today. And we're going to round out the show with a round of video game 20 questions, maybe more than one game if time permits. And I think it probably will. So look forward to that. Adam's going to host that segment. So I'm excited to see what he's got cooked up for us. He's holding out 3 fingers. Ooh, 3. All right.
I have 3 games ready.
Awesome. So if we get 2 out of 3, is that considered successful or is it like, do we have to get the hat trick?
This isn't horseshoes and hand grenades. Is that right? Yes. You got to get them all.
All right. Fantastic. Well, we'll have to do our best. So since Erika, you came up with this first segment.
I did.
I'm going to toss this question to you first. What does your ideal video game entail? What is the ideal video game look like for Erika?
Yeah, it's easy enough. Skyrim, but multiplayer. People always turn around and say, that's just an MMO. No, it's not an MMO because everyone and their cat is the Dragon Lord of whatever the heck. Like, no, I want like an enclosed world where you have like a certain amount of players who can be in it. And it's that thing where if a quest line is done, it's done. Like someone goes and saves someone's daughter from the vampires in the woods. You know, I can't go do it. It's already been done. And the story moves forward from there. I can go and sit, you can plunk me down in Whiterun, and I can just go do all of the blacksmithing tasks and all the like side like apothecary, I want to make you spells and things like that. But I don't need to go out and find all the dragon scrolls or I know Skyrim.
It's been a long time since I played it, so sure.
Yeah.
Like
you are looking for the Elder Scrolls.
You know the thing the series is called? Look. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I don't need to go and find the Elder Scroll. My friend can go and be the Dragonborn. Like, it's fine. Just come back, bring me the things that I want. If anything, I give them more quests because I'm like, go get me this thing so I can make stuff. And they go and do it.
So if I'm understanding correctly, it's a shared world where essentially like, so unlike a game like, I don't know, like Destiny or WoW, where people can like run the same dungeons like over and over again, they have that quest exists once. When it's completed, it's done. And the multiple people inhabiting this world can kind of choose what things to do. And like, so cooperative, but also not, if I'm understanding.
Sounds like a co-op single player open world to me, which
like
is what I would want out of it. I'm with you. That would sound fun.
That does sound
People
cool.
say that Divinity, and also the part of this is that if I talk about the games that I want to play, someone will be like, oh, that already exists. Because people said the Divinity Original Sin is like that. The second one, at least.
Can confirm.
But it's still a game that like essentially requires combat, as far as I can tell. It is literally, if I could play a game without having to pick up a sword and stab something, where it's not like a requirement if I have enough people in the game with me, that's kind of what I want.
So if you could do Skyrim, but like do the moon, like Moonlighter, like kind of like inhabit that world. I don't know if you're familiar with Moonlighter, but it's
Yeah,
an
Moonlighter's
RPG
fantastic.
where you're like, yeah, the shopkeep or whatever.
Mhm.
So if you could just do that, like, or blacksmith or leathercraft or whatever the case is, like that,
Yeah.
that would be cool.
If,
Yeah.
if I could play
interesting.
Moonlighter, but I have a friend with me because the whole point of it also is co-op, so I can sit in a world with my friends, and my friend can be the one to run off into the dungeons and bring things back, and I'll run the shop. Great, 10 out of 10. I'm in.
That sounds cool. I mean, I've never actually considered, that as like a viable game, and that's a really really
Mhm.
neat idea. Like I have a friend right now who has been I guess doing like leather crafting in one of the Final Fantasy online like games. That's just always been doing. So I imagine that's kind of the same thing, except that's like a more of an MMO. But that's a really neat idea. You could pick up an occupation that isn't necessarily combat based, because somebody like me, like I like to go kill stuff, but it would be nice like if I was not feeling stabby, swipey to maybe take a little bit of a break and get my Stardew Valley on. If I had like a
Yeah.
farm I could go to and like tend to, that would be really really cool, and still get progress and feel like I'm contributing to the world, as it were. That's neat.
Yeah, it's also one of the things in Overwatch why I love playing Mercy a lot is because she is a character where it's like when you play characters like Lucio and like Baptiste and things like that, there is still I can't shoot. I have terrible aim. I'm awful at it. What are you gonna do? Mercy is a character that lets you play a first-person shooter without requiring you to shoot, and so the game you play becomes a little bit different, which is super nice. And it like inclusive isn't the correct word, but it's the closest word.
No, I
So-
would say it's inclusive. So I enjoy playing shooters and sometimes doing the shooting, but I have found that like a game like Overwatch that will allow me to play a support character, I tend to play with people that are much better at shooters than I am. Like I consider myself
Yeah.
as mediocre as it comes. I'm not bad, but I'm not
Mhm.
great either. So being able to fall into that support role is something that not only it's something that I don't mind, but it's something that I actually actively enjoy doing. Like I love playing as Moira. Is that the woman that can do the
Yeah, the two hands.
two hands? Yep, she's cool. Yeah, Lucio and Mercy, like all the support characters are a ton of fun. There's somebody that throws armor, but it's been ages. Torbjorn?
Yep, Brigitte.
Oh, Brigitte, yes.
Brigitte. I call her Brigitte. I don't remember her actual name.
She was a little broken at launch because you could
Yeah.
actually really just beat the shit out of people with her too. Like,
Yeah,
that's
she's the
fun.
reason why Overwatch League became unfun to watch, but that's another story.
Yeah. But yeah, so it sounds like
Yeah.
you have kind of a wide palette, but you have a specific way that you like to play games, and so your ideal game would accommodate your desire to want to play with other people, but not relegate them to necessarily doing the same things that you're doing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool. Any other boxes, like just like in general? So that's your ideal game in like all one complete package. Is there
Oh, for
anything
me?
else? Yeah.
Definitely fantasy based. Even again, Borderlands. Tiny Tina's Wonderland, I believe it's called. It's just Borderlands the same, but the fantasy skin on it is immediately more appealing to me just because that's my flavor of game, or my flavor of usually of setting. Other than that, I don't think there's much that I can tell. It's one of those things where when I get into it, it'd be like, oh, like I'd rather this mechanic be a little like more robust and things like that. But that gets down to the nitty gritty. It's just the openness in the fantasy setting that's kind of ideal for me.
Nice. As a fellow D&D player, that doesn't come as much of a surprise. That's really, really that's cool. Yeah, I did enjoy it. Like I played the expansion, and I'm excited for like the full game that they're doing with. Was it Dungeons and Badasses or something like that? I forget what like their version
Borderlands
of it.
2. Yeah, it's like Tiny Tina's. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like the game, like what they call D&D in the game world
Yeah,
is
I
like
forgot what it's called.
something in Badasses, but yeah, like is fun. And the voiceover narration, that was like actually something that I played when I had zero D&D experience. So it'd be interesting to see what I would think of it now, like understanding a bit more about how that all works. But very cool. Bobby, I'm going to go to you next, my friend. what is the ideal game? And you can't say in plastic on your shelf because we know that is 90% of the games you own. But what
Damn, I was going to say a
features-
game that came already open, but you took that away from me.
Our running joke on the show, Erica, is that Bobby has a lot of games in cellophane still. And we keep telling him, like, just,
Hey,
you
me
know,
too.
just buy it when it's like on sale, like when you're ready to play it, you'll save so much money. But hey, it's cool. I respect the hustle. So all jokes aside, what does the ideal game look like to you, Bobby? Like in a complete package?
See, I don't know because I think Returnal kind of messed me up with like the games that I liked because I didn't like the whole and Dead Cells sort of. I used to like a lot of first person shooters and a lot of Tom Clancy games pre Rainbow Six Siege. But I don't know. I'd honestly say if it was before Returnal, my perfect game would be something just like SOCOM Confrontation was. That game was fantastic. That was to me the ultimate battle royale. Like the maps were huge, like sometimes too huge, like 32 versus 32, and the map is so big, like you can't find the other person before the time expires. Like it's just that big. Like something like that. I liked. It feels like everything's just going way too much towards loot. And everything else, like right now, right before we got on, I had a fight with my daughter over whether she needed the Ariana Grande skin in Fortnite.
Of course she does.
I of course think she did. That was just me.
There's a what? On the one hand, there's a what? On the other hand, I'm not surprised.
That's what I'm like. I'm like, do you really want to see Ariana Grande running around with a assault rifle, shooting a giant blue booger?
Yes.
And
This all sounds great.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
20 minutes of tears later, I had to buy Ariana Grande. But I'm kind of getting tired of all the loot. Like it seems like it's kind of taken away a little bit. That's why I like Rogue Company, because it seems like the loot isn't the only thing in the game. Like there's different mechanics for each characters and the way you play and the people you play with. Sometimes horrible people. I wish there was a better mechanic for that. I'd pay more loot to have less horrible people. But it seems like the games are going way too much towards loot. Like I love picking up loot, but I don't want to keep buying it. Like Pokemon Unite, I haven't even started it because I would buy everything and then just be mad that I win all the time. I'd rather progress and get better over time. That's just how I am. But an ideal game, I have no clue.
Bobby, I think you would love
I like
hero shooters. Like you like Rogue Company for the reasons you pointed out. I think you would love all hero shooters, which would be Overwatch and other games where you
I
have
always heard good things. Yeah, like when I went to PAX, the Overwatch, the crowd, like that, the League of Legends stuff. Like I would love that, but I don't have time. My attention span, my ADD is so like that's why I don't even open games because I forget they're even there after I buy them. I get excited, I go on Amazon. That's like my 20 minutes, and that's it. Then it comes, and I'm just like,
a shot. Overwatch is one of those things that has a very high skill ceiling because in an ideal scenario, you're going to know not only what the characters you like to play can do, but what every other character in the game can do, and that takes time. But you don't have to know all of that to enjoy like playing a casual game of Overwatch, right? You can just say like what kind of like shooter you like to play, and we could probably recommend a couple people that you'd want to try out, and then you kind of slowly branch out from there, right? Like that's how I started off playing was they're like like start off with Soldier 76. He feels a lot like playing COD, so
he's your tutorial character. He's very basic,
so you can at least understand like that every character has a couple of abilities, they have their ultimate and blah 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 blah, and then you kind of branch out from there. But it's for the reasons that there is a lot of loot in Overwatch, but it's only loot boxes for the most part. I think you can spend currency in the game of some kind.
You can't. So the way I have way too many hours in Overwatch. It's you can't buy. I don't unless it's changed recently. You can't buy currency. You buy loot boxes, and so you buy loot boxes. You open up, you get 4 things. If you have a duplicate of a thing, it gives you an in-game currency.
Yes.
And the more duplicates you get, the more in-game currency you get, and then certain items. Well, you can just so if it's a skin you want, you can't roll it. If you have enough of the in-game currency set up based on the loot boxes you've opened, then you can just go and get it.
And it's cosmetic only, and it's not just skins. Like there's like everything from like poses to all kinds of stuff. And I like it because I genuinely like at this point there's so much in there that I feel like whenever I open one of the boxes that you can earn organically just by playing the game. You don't have to just buy them. Like I usually get something cool. Like a lot of it's cool looking. Like it's not very like a huge delineation between like the stuff that looks kind of lame and the stuff that looks awesome. Like there's a lot in the game. So I usually
League
that's
is
how
the
I
same way, but the skill ceiling on League is vastly different than
yeah, I don't
Overwatch
understand
is.
that at all.
It's a lot.
I'm in awe of it, but I don't understand like hardly anything about League.
The only reason I can play it is because I've been playing for like 8 years. If getting into it now that there's like 150 to 200 characters, like it's a lot.
There's how many?
Yeah, League. God, how many are there right now?
That's crazy.
I spelled every single word in that wrong. Just give me count, please. I can double check, but they're over 156
Wow, good
champions
gravy.
now.
That's crazy. Okay, so once upon a time I'd said like, I think eventually they're gonna run out of characters for Rainbow Six Siege, but maybe not, and maybe they'll just keep going. But my point,
they will, but they'll just combo. It'll be like, oh, the 4 abilities, this ability's from that character, and that ability's from this character, and they'll just take them and combo them into new spots basically, and they become hyper complicated. That's how it's gone.
Yeah, Bobby, you said that Siege was the last Tom Clancy game. Do you like Siege? Because that everything you're explaining sounds like something you like. And you're muted, by the way.
There we go. My thing is I loved it in the beginning, but then it became like every other shooter, like Call of Duty, where there's just horrible people.
Sweaty. It gets so sweaty the longer
it's just like if you're standing in the wrong place or you're shooting across someone's head or blah blah blah, they'll throw up crap and yell at you the whole game. And I'm just like, it's a game, dude. Like it shouldn't matter. Like you're in here to play a game. You play your 3 rounds and we get out of here. But no, people were like super like this is how you do it. This is where you stand. And after I got like my 3rd game in, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Everybody's yelling at me every game. Maybe it's me. So then I started learning. And then at that point, I just got frustrated. I'm like, no, I want to play the game how I want to play it. I don't want to stand in this corner just to win the game. Like I like shooting people in the face. I like blowing them up. I like watching them blow up. I don't want to sit behind a wall and watch them blow up. I don't want to see the points pop up. I want to see it. Things got to happen. But no, it got too competitive where I dropped out. But I do get the battle pass just to get the characters. So in case one day, because Tom Clancy's my all-time favorite. I mean, I grew up in Baltimore. He grew up right in my corner, Baltimore County. I driven past his farm plenty of times with his horses and stuff. He's always a cool guy. So I always supported that. So, but yeah, Siege is cool, but it's just not what I thought it would be. When I heard Rainbow Six, I thought RSV 1 and 2 Vegas, but no.
Maybe someday they'll get back to that. Everyone's been itching for that new oh my god, I almost called it Dead Cells game. Splinter Cell, good gracious, because you said Dead Cells earlier. I told you my brain is flicking on and off like all evening apparently. Adam, hit me with your complete package.
I have 3 things specifically that Adam really cares about, so we'll see how this goes. First, Battle Royale. When PUBG first started up, so let me try this game out, and then I played 500 hours of PUBG in a year. Super into Apex.
Was that just to get through one round? Because that crap was way laggy in the beginning. Come on, man.
Whenever it was rough when it first launched. I will never lie to you there, but I just love the genre. I just like dropping in hot. And it was just a fun deviation from multiplayer for me because I got kind of bored with arena stuff. Like I don't play Call of Duty anymore just because I don't want to walk around a map and get shot every time I spawn or whatever. I just thought it was an interesting and different way to play, and I played basically all the big ones since that came out, or PUBG popularized it. And so I'm down for basically any battle royale game. I just like that it's like, hey, you play a multiplayer match, go in here, and how good you are depends on how aggressive you want to be. And it was a different and interesting look at multiplayer, which I really appreciated. So I was down for that a lot. And I played, like I said, Apex. I tried some Warzone, run back to PUBG, getting wins with Chris last time we played it. It was a great time. So
yeah. Oh, you and George and I up in that tower on that Vietnam map or wherever it's supposed to be. That was just amazing. Like that's probably the best game I've ever played in terms of like just the sheer number of kills. and like just like how dominant we were. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, no, I think our team was like, what do we get? Like 29 team kills, which is like a third of the lobby.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh dear.
Wasn't too bad. And then I also this is a silly one. Well, you guys know this one. This is not the silly one. Strategy games. So basically XCOM, Fire Emblem, get on a grid, take turns, and beat the shit out of stuff. I'm all about. That's probably my favorite game type, or like gameplay. Erica, why are you giving me these looks?
Top-down battle strategy royale. That was a bunch of words that were all in the wrong order. I'm just thinking of these in the same game as all.
Oh, no. These are separate games. My bad.
Oh, okay.
This is not one game.
I
These
mean,
are
to be
Adam's
fair,
favorite game types.
Like playing Fire Emblem against someone as opposed to a computer would be super interesting.
You start with nothing, got to go pick up wood swords and shit and try to get better stuff.
No. It's literally you can play it as a draft where it's like, okay, well when they route the enemy or whatever, and I'm playing the enemy. You have an actual like thinking person behind the other side.
Like that. Yeah, no, those weren't connected, but that would be interesting. But yeah, no, strategy games in general, like XCOM 2 is one of my favorite games ever made. Like I said, love Fire Emblem. When there was that leak for the Marvel XCOM game, I'm still waiting for that. Let's get that done, please. I just love that genre so much, just because you can it's extremely tactical, but you don't have to rush and be like good at headshots because you're playing it's playing chess instead of playing checkers. Yeah. And I really dig that a lot. And
Awesome.
then go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do we cover 3? No, you go ahead.
No,
that's your silly one.
My 2 more, which are technically 1. Literally any game with cowboys or pirates, because I'm an 8-year-old boy. I don't know what it is about that aesthetic, but boy, I love cowboys and pirates. I really actually didn't care that much as a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, I really like the ideas that the American cowboy stand for, as well as the pirate, like the whole like meaning behind what those people did. And then you throw that on aesthetic as anything. And all the games have been good. Like I love Assassin's Creed 4. Sea of Thieves is a good time. Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2 are one of the best games ever made. Like it's like, oh, it's a cool thing I like. And the games also happen to be good. So cowboys and pirates, let's go.
Those are very, specific aesthetics as well. And I think in both of those genres, you can tell both a serious like story and a silly story. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of go up like tonally in completely different ways. One of my favorite content creators, for lack of a better word, on YouTube, the RKG boys, formerly of IGN and Prepare to Try, Gav Murphy said that he got obsessed with catching like criminals or people that were like assholes to him in the game world, and he would put them on a train track where like there was a split, and he would like Harvey Dent them. Like if the train came and went on the one side and crushed him, that was their fate. And if like if the train didn't, he would let them go, and like run away from them, because obviously they're going to try to kill you at that point usually. So I thought that was like, I mean, that's an example of you can take that very serious world and do something incredibly stupid and silly in it, versus like the actual narrative of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is quite serious and
it can be pretty dire. Yeah, you can have your spaghetti westerns, or you can have your we're old men, our lifestyle is dying and we're becoming obsolete, and it's like, oh, those are 2 very different things, but they ride horses and have cool hats. So
Let me ask you, have you ever seen The Wild Bunch before?
I don't think so. No.
That's a film for you, my friend. I got to see it just last year, maybe right before COVID kicked off, or maybe it was like the winter before. But Sam Peckinpah, 1969. It's like right at that start of like kind of intimate American like filmmaking, where like instead of big studio like Hollywood blockbuster type movies, like that you had these really personal stories. It was incredibly violent for the time, and it's essentially like Red Dead 2, like a lot of the ideas they get from that. So it's a bunch of aging gunslingers that are right at the tail end of the American West, like automobiles and stuff are starting to come around, like just like if you think of like the beginning of the Red Dead Redemption. It's just like that, and they've essentially fucked up on what was supposed to be their last heist, and they're kind of on the run. So highly recommend it. It's a great film.
Crazy thing looking at this, the main guy from this movie's name is Dutch, so that's fun. That's
there's a lot of references to it. There's a lot of references. You can tell the people that made the Red Dead games really like that. So I 2 hours well spent.
I gotta try that out.
Awesome, man. So I guess that brings it to me.
Go for it, Chris. I want to know.
Well, listen, like I mean, it's no secret on this podcast by now that I love the Souls games. So I would say, like, number one, like, I do like a good challenge. So I would say that's kind of one big giant box for me, like when I'm in the mood, which is not always, like, to be fair, but I do enjoy a game that's challenging but fair and has mechanics that you can sort of through sheer force of will and practice like master. And I think that's oddly enough, like why back in the day I loved Guitar Hero so much was that like you could slowly over time with enough practice get really, really excellent at Guitar Hero, and you felt cool, like when you got really good at it. And that's why I've continued to enjoy the Soul games. I'm not like the dude that's building controllers made of pizza. I don't know if you saw that recently and doing stuff like that. There's a guy that made controller out of pizza slices and beat Dark Souls. Nor am I the guy that blindfolds myself and beats Sekiro in 30 minutes.
Oh, those
like
are fun to watch, though.
yeah, never gonna be me. But I can beat one of those games in an entire weekend, as I did once on Rental Rush by myself. Beat Bloodborne and all the DLC. Competent enough, with a new character to do stuff like that. So I would say like that's one aspect of gaming that like I enjoy. I think probably my other two pillars would be a strong narrative story, and that doesn't necessarily have to be told through like big budget, motion capture stuff like The Last of Us 2. I think there's like, take Celeste for example, which I think has one of the most outstanding video game narratives that I've ever experienced, and there's no VO whatsoever in that game. It's just lovely music and just sharply written dialogue, and a game that I would argue, like, through environmental storytelling kind of takes you through this journey of this person that's dealing with anxiety and depression. And, most recently confirmed by, Maddie Thorson, the director of the game, is struggling with trans identity. Right. So that is so narrative, I would say, would be like another pillar. Finally, I would say probably my other thing would be like style. And when I think about style, I think about, so you could use Celeste as an example, but like a game like Persona, which like I love JRPGs, anyway, but like that game is so much more than that. Like it just like it is so its own thing, and it has just an almost, I think, impossible to copy style. I mean, you could, it would pale in comparison, and it's just fully unique. So I like games that commit hard to a certain aesthetic or style.
Yeah,
Like
Persona 5 style is the kids in high school that were cool because they smoked, but they didn't care that they were cool. Like I fucking love the style of that game. It's so good.
the game does not give a
good.
shit. Like I mean, it like I say, fully commits. Like that is a game that unabashedly like is what it is, and you're either there for it, at 130% like I am, or like you're gonna bounce right off of it, right? But yeah, I have a just tremendous appreciation for any game that can kind of do that, and nail it, you know what I mean, and like just really just go for it. Doom 2016, I think it gets my respect for that too, because like
There's that soundtrack, baby.
there's that soundtrack, the
Oh,
no
it's perfect.
reloading, the just the fast run and gun kind of gameplay. Like, yeah. So I guess my ideal game then would be potentially challenging, commits to its style, and then have a good, narrative, however that is. So if I was going to combine those all, but doesn't necessarily
So
have
Hades.
Hades was my
Hades
game
is
of the year
there.
last year. It was my game of the year last year, and probably for that reason, right? I mean, it
Mhm.
does tick all of those boxes. And that's a game that, like, once you feel like you master it, you can make it harder with the little gate at the beginning. I forget what that was called. It's been a while.
I still haven't escaped, so I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So once you do escape, like, essentially, like, there is like when you go out the bottom door in the room with Skelly, you can turn on as many modifiers as you want, like,
Mhm.
essentially. And sometimes it's something like relatively simple, like the enemies have like plus 25% health, and you can combine them in interesting combinations. But every time you turn a modifier on, it resets like the rewards that you would get from those original bosses.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So usually, like, you can still get through the same bosses that you've been able to at that point, but you get more materials that to progress stuff. And any event, yeah, I could go on and on about Hades, but yep, that's why it was game of the year last year. No surprise there. Will I play it again on Game Pass? Probably all the way through. Probably, or at least like, I might just do like a couple of escapes to see how far like I can get, like with a base character. But
Speedrun time, let's go.
yeah. Awesome. Well, let's move on to, won't spend too much time on this. Back for Blood, the open beta early access launched today on August 9th. It will launch in open beta status, so people will be able to play whether you pre-ordered or not, or if you got like lucky enough to get a key to drop. I think you could just watch people on Twitch today for an hour and supposedly get a Twitch drop for the Steam key. So I wanted to give some impressions. First of all, who here has played Left 4 Dead?
Hands up over here.
Okay, Bobby, you never played Left 4 Dead?
Bobby, you played? Okay, he has. I'm about to say, you better have played Left 4 Dead, Bobby. You're gonna have problems.
I'll ask Erika when she gets back. Did you like Left 4 Dead?
Absolutely. Left 4 Dead 2 is even better. So yeah, I like that genre.
Did you like Left 4 Dead?
Yeah.
This is absolutely Left. I mean, like I just like I couldn't believe, and I don't say that disparagingly at all. It's just like if you liked Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, like you're gonna absolutely love this game. I did encounter a few glitches, which I fully expected in the beta. It's mainly things like, enemies that died where like some of them were like floating, like their corpses were a couple feet in the air kind of thing. Nothing really major. A couple audio drop issues where I could tell that like this monster was supposed to be roaring at me, or zombie variant. But it was just super quiet, which kind of made it more terrifying in a way because it was just silently coming at me, and it was just like But this game is absolutely Left 4 Dead. There are some interesting mechanics that they've added into it. You start off with a small amount of currency when you begin a level for like the first part of the act, and you can Counter-Strike style use that to buy a random assortment of stuff from an item box that's in the safe room. And then as you play through the level, one of the ways that they reward you for exploration is not only do you pick up other guns and like Molotovs and stuff like that, but you can also find those coins, and sometimes quite a lot of them. And then when you make it to the next safe room, you now have more currency to buy something out of that random loot pool. And it does seem to be random. So it might be something you really want, and it might be something that you don't care about. You can that includes health items and things like that too. I will say probably my biggest critique on the game, which isn't really going to be a problem for me when this thing launches, is that the AI is very stupid. Especially like the friendly AI is just incredibly unpredictable and frankly way too aggressive, right? Like one of the things I liked about the original Left 4 Dead games was that if you were falling back, your teammates would tend to kind of like move in the same general direction. So you had a tank fight, for example. We fought an ogre, and it was all with player or NPCs for me because the matchmaking was a little wonky today. They would eventually fill out with other players, but it was all NPC players. And they genuinely, this giant gargantuan thing, just every time we went to fight it, would just walk up to within like 2 feet of it, like with assault rifles, and just like shoot and just get smacked like dead, like immediately. And I'm like, what? And I'd be falling back, like hoping they're going to follow me. And like, nope, they wouldn't do that. Sometimes they also like went really far off on their own to like look for stuff, like where like they would get pinned down by something. And I'm like, where the hell are you? Like, why are you over there? I don't know what that's all
feet
about.
Back or whatever. Yeah,
not quite that, but I mean like, but pretty far, like way farther than I remember the characters from Left 4 Dead. So I don't know if that's like some sort of tethering, like that they have to work out, because while I don't mind them having some autonomy, you certainly it's hard enough to play with NPCs. You certainly don't want them going off to create new problems for you when it's already in hard. Granted, I was playing on like the middle difficulty, so like, who knows. But that being said, when I had when those players were filled out with other players that were, more played more like human beings, because they are human beings, I had a great time. The variety of zombies is so far from what I saw about what I remember being in Left 4 Dead. There's way more options for what they call the cleaners, which are like the the characters that you're playing at. In between like campaigns, you even have like a little hub where you can purchase you like deck building, right, Adam? There's a whole deck building game in this where you can purchase cards, and you can build like decks, and when you start a level, it'll randomly assign you a card from your deck, and sometimes they'll synergize together, which is kind of cool. Trying to think. Weapon variety, there's way more. You've got at least one more class. I don't remember there being LMGs, like the light machine guns in the original Dead
I remember
games.
assault rifle, shotgun, melee, pistol. I think that was what you had. Maybe
And
a sniper.
snipers. Yeah. So they have snipers in this as well. Melee options, pistols, of course. And it's cool because there's like a little training camp inside your hub. So if you want to kind of see with like damage counters and everything, if you want to see what kind of damage the guns do and things like that. Overall, like I think people, if they like Left 4 Dead, they're gonna love this. Like it's exactly what people wanted, which was like Left 4 Dead 3 in all but name. So I'm excited to play more with actual people when it launches on Xbox Open Beta. If my brother never gets his code, bless him, we'll have to run some games. I think this beta is pretty substantial, by the way. Like we wiped because you have continues or game over continues that lead to a game over if you're not successful running through. And I think we got to like the 3rd level of the campaign. So I thought they said there was going to be 2 maps, but that might be like 2 like areas that have multiple levels, which that's the case. It's plenty of time to kind of make up your mind if you're going to buy this thing in October, if you're on the fence. I never was, but I like checking out stuff early. So do y'all have any questions about the Left 4, or sorry, I almost called it Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood beta?
No question. Just sounds good to me. I'm ready to.
And Game Pass, that's
beta.
miraculous too.
I don't have to pay for it, so it's all, I was gonna play no matter what.
It's, I mean, a game like that, that good, like it's gonna probably do wonders for the player count. There is crossplay enabled right in the beta too, which is cool. I played with like a PlayStation person and an Xbox person in my first matchup and didn't see any apparent issues. Like everything seemed to be working. And I was on PC, so seemed to be working. Granted, we weren't trying to talk to each other or anything like that, but as far as like stability, it was good to go. Awesome. And that brings us to our final segment, which is video game 20 questions. No pressure or anything to get all 3 of these, since Adam,
I do have a question for you. How are we doing on time?
I have 20 for you. I'm not 100% sure like when we fired this thing up. Let me look and see. So Bobby showed up what? Probably, we can cut this part out, like about 5 minutes or so after you said we're in here.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was like the same time.
It was a little bit late. It was five. We'll call it 7 minutes, which would put our start time at 7:34. So we got about 20-ish minutes.
Okay, because we could do what we've been playing if anyone wanted to, or I could go straight into these. It's whatever you guys want to do.
Oh, I can tell. Yeah, we could do. I always like to do a quick what we've been playing. I have a very funny story about Persona Royale. How about how I almost fucked up that whole entire extra semester? I didn't know that there was.
I told you there's next semester.
Yeah.
I know. I knew that, but stupid me. I assumed
I don't know how it works though. So
they were gonna tell me like how to access it, and like I'm saying, like I literally had a 2-day cushion where like if I didn't have and I had to go back to my earliest save, I would have fucked myself out of the true ending. And like, yeah, I just happened to wake up with my coffee. I was like, all right, I'm getting towards the end of the base game. Let's see this extra semester. I was like, oh no. Like, anyway, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So take it away, Adam. You go ahead and lead us to the promised land with 20 questions.
Oh, 20 questions. Okay, guys. You know how 20 questions work. You ask me a question. It's either yes or no, or I'll answer it as close as you can. And then you get one chance to get the correct answer. So when you guess, make sure you're sure. I have 3 games here. I'm just going to start with, these are all known. I'm going to start with the easiest one, I think.
Cool.
So yes, go ahead. Ask me questions when you're ready. This is a group effort, by the way, Erica. So everyone asks together.
Yeah. Well, I guess the base is console exclusive to wherever it's from.
Is it a console exclusive? No, it is not.
Well, console/PC, wherever like the thing it is exclusive to wherever it is. Okay.
Yeah. Was that a question or well, I answered it, so whatever. It is not exclusive to one console or PC.
Was it released before January 1st, 2000?
No. Okay. So after January 1st, 2000 is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Was it made by EA?
No, it was not.
It's very specific, but it eliminates a lot of goddamn games. So it's okay. Was it released before January 1st, 2010?
Before no. So after January 1st, 2010. Yeah.
So it's either probably going to be next gen or this gen. Actually, there's no probably. It'd have to be prior gen. Oh no, sorry, shit. That we've had 3 generations.
Yeah, now it would technically be within 3 generations. Yeah.
This is trying to stand just to get rid of my hand. I don't like that. It's 4 questions.
Yeah, I'm keeping track of the answers, by the way, just so we have. I don't know if anybody
Or a
else.
bad
is.
idea. Good.
I was gonna ask if there was a major multiplayer component, but if it's not exclusive, the likelihood is high. Just because I feel like generally, if it's a single player story game, they don't usually do cross-platform, unless I say for like
I think it's a good
console
question.
and PC. Is it okay?
Yeah, I think it's a good question.
Is there a major multiplayer component? So not for example, not bigger than The Last of Us is because The Last of Us had if I remember correctly, had a multiplayer component, but it was like,
yeah.
So what's the question you're asking? Because you're asking if it has multiplayer or the size of the multiplayer.
Yeah, was multiplayer a big component of the game?
I will say that there is multiplayer, but I don't think it's the big component of it. But there is a multiplayer mode.
So, for example, if it was like Borderlands, like the answer I would hopefully would be yes.
Well, yeah, that is a multiplayer game to me.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. No, it was. So if you're asking like, is it Call of Duty Online or whatever, it's like.
Yeah, it was. It's not like Modern Warfare kind of a deal where it's Call of Duty where it has story, but multiplayer is really big.
It has multiplayer, is what I will say.
What Assassin's Creed game came out that year?
From 2010 to now.
That's a lot. Of them.
Say fucking tons of them. Yeah, I was gonna say like.
That's it. It was the first one was 20.
That shit was annualized for a while. So, Bobby, you got a question? We're at 5.
Anything to narrow it down, you can just throw it at me, Bobby. Go for it.
Is it an action adventure game?
I would say yes. It is based in action adventure, I suppose. So like not puzzle, not sports. Yes, I would say it is closer to action adventure than most things.
Okay. Oh, you might be onto something with the Assassin's Creed because there was that one where you could like cloak yourself and like hide in the crowd and assassinate people. You know what I'm talking about? Like they had some.
Yeah, there was some stealth stuff, but I think it still falls under like action adventure. And
I would like the first couple, like or the first few in that series. I would like before like they got big giant like RPG.
Now, I would also say those open world RPGs would also be action adventure.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's part of the answer, but I mean, because you are doing action and you're on an adventure, correct?
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, I guess the next question would be if it's a Ubisoft game, because that'll just eliminate Assassin's Creed entirely.
It is not a Ubisoft game.
Okay.
Not EA, not Ubisoft. That'll probably help you guys.
That's a lot of games gone. Can you customize your character?
Yes, in ways.
Well, okay, let me go back. Can I amend that? What I really intended by that was like is there like a character creator thing? Are you playing as a static character?
A character creator? No, there's not a character creator.
Okay.
Goodbye. Oh, BioWare is EA. Never mind.
That would be like Bethesda, like all the Scrolls.
The Scrolls games and stuff. Yeah.
Fallout.
Dragon Scrolls.
The Dragon Scrolls games. Look, I'm happy to have that be my legacy. I'll stand on this crumbling. I
spent 100 hours in that game, and I still, when you were like Dragon Scrolls, I'm like, sure, those are probably in there somewhere. I'm like, I don't know. It's been ages since I played that.
So there's no character creator.
So we're at 8. Bobby, you got a question?
We are.
No, not at the moment. I gotta think.
Okay, we can come back to you. I just wanted
I
to
can
be-
have Google open, right? I can be looking up through games.
No. You can't do that. That is absolutely not allowed. And I'm on your team, so I'm saying no. All right, so let's like kind of recap before we get to the halfway point ish.
Yeah.
So it's action adventure E with a
E? Do we?
what E like action adventure E like
Oh,
like,
Action Adventure E. I thought you meant
or
rating. I was like,
ish.
Ish.
No.
Okay.
Ish.
Yeah.
It's a set character or characters that you play as. It's after 2010 that it came out. It's not exclusive to one platform. It's not
Is
EA.
it after?
It's
Before,
not
I thought it was
Ubisoft.
before 2010.
After.
Between, I thought
It's
it was
after
oh.
January 1st, 2010.
Oh, whoops! I thought it
something-
was between 2010.
So yeah, something relatively modern.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my light's about to fall down, so I need to go grab this.
I can continue this. So it's not exclusive to anything. It's not EA, not Ubisoft. It's got multiplayer in it, but it's not a big part of it.
Yeah. Which,
So
to be fair, there was that phase of like 2010, 20 like to 13 where like they just were putting fucking useless multiplayer and like every single player game. I'm
Mhm.
being a little, unfair there, and then they were also putting half-baked single player into games that people wanted to just be multiplayer. It's like they felt like every game needed to have it.
yeah, like Titanfall, right?
Yeah. Well, Titanfall, the campaign was a joke in that first one. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the multiplayer. It's a game where I heard it was a lot of fun to play, but the story was not great. And then I
They
think
essentially
2
just-
had a better story.
yeah, 2 was like a proper campaign. 1 was they just put you in like bot-controlled PvP matches, and they were like, this guy's talking on the mics. Look, there's a story. Like,
Sure.
all right. Did you ask your question yet, Erica? So,
Not
yeah.
since no.
Yeah,
I asked the Ubisoft one just so we knew that it wasn't Assassin's Creed.
not a bad idea.
Is it a Warner Brothers game?
It is not a Warner Brothers game.
Gets rid of the Shadow.
Batman,
The Batman.
Lego.
Mhm.
Action adventure games in the last like 17 years. I can't count. It's not 17. I don't know
That's
how
it.
math works.
It's 11.
It's 11. That'll be a constant, by the way, is I'll just say a number and hope it's right. It's never right. Ooh, has this game won an award at I will say specifically the Game Awards.
Yes.
Okay. So presumably it's somewhat well received, if not really well received.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd have to look up exactly what award, but it was an award-winning game, is what I can say.
Okay. That brings us to 10, so we're halfway there.
So what's won awards in the last couple of years?
I feel like we should maybe narrow down like the actual like generation. So we've got a 10-year, like we should maybe narrow the scope just a bit more. Did this come out in the Xbox One, PS4 generation? So last gen?
No.
I feel like that means it has to be really recent, or it have to be because like the Game Awards were a thing back in the 360, but they were like fledgling, right? Like they were pretty damn new.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go off the bet that
That'd only be a year for
this is also the easiest one. I'm gonna assume it's recent. So I'm
Yeah.
going to.
I would narrow it down to a year because, like, I mean,
It
if it's not
would.
if it's not
Well-
last gen, it would be.
What cross-platform game? Because when did we get PS5? Like when did we get PS5, Xbox? I can't begin
Last
to
November.
describe.
Last November. So yeah, it's literally been less than a year.
So like what? So it would have been the last year, yeah.
Maybe,
But so
or we don't
maybe-
want.
so
We gotta
yeah,
careful.
no,
So
that's too much.
let's think. I mean, because it could be.
Hmm.
It's not Fallen Order because that was 2 years ago anyway, and that's EA. But maybe something like that. It's not Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That was a big one.
Mhm.
It could be Hades. We talked about Hades. Like, did we rule anything out? Yeah, it's static character, action adventure E.
Mm-hmm. It's not exclusive.
It's not exclusive. Hmm.
But is it? No, because Hades would, I guess, fall under the PS5 generation. Because did it come out on PS?
Well, it originally launched in PC, but like it it entered like full access last like summer or fall.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cross-generational, really, and it's launching on Xbox now. Maybe it's not that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other. There wasn't a whole lot of like that. There's Watch Dogs. Legion came out. That was like one of the. But that's Ubisoft again.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. I don't know. We've got plenty of questions left. We could narrow down genre a little bit more if you want, Bobby, or like publisher or / developer. Like,
yeah, I'm torn between more of BioShock-ish or Minecraft. Like, I don't know, because you said action adventure-y.
If it's a game that released though, I think Minecraft's like 11 years old.
But I mean, it could be the.
I guess true. 11, yeah,
because it's on all platforms. Yeah,
it could have been through Xbox 360 generation, because I think the Game Awards started in that generation, maybe. Because they used to be televised, and I know that was a hot minute ago.
Mm-hmm. Multiplayer exists, but it's not major. I think Minecraft is a lot heavy multiplayer.
Yeah, and Hades definitely does not have multiplayer that I'm aware of. So
yeah.
So it wouldn't be something like Diablo.
Yeah, which is entirely not entirely multiplayer, but it's meant to be like that.
I also wouldn't pick an Activision Blizzard game anyways. Just letting you know.
Good. Okay. What's another? Yeah. So what's the genre question? So if it's action adventure based, but
it's not exclusive. That's what's really throwing me off. Is like I have so many games that like might fall into this, but like that they're fucking exclusive. So.
Yeah, I don't. So I think all roguelikes are out just because I don't think they have a multiplayer component.
RPGs probably for the most part too, because almost all of them are going to have like a character creator of some kind. It could be like Red Dead Redemption, the OG. If we're going to go back to the Xbox like 360 days, because you're John Marston, you can kind of there is multiplayer in it. There was Red Dead Online for that one.
That's true. Yeah.
Similarly, it could be like a Grand Theft Auto, because 5 was that.
Oh yeah,
and
also, like 20.
But that's a pretty. I would argue GTA Online is huge, whereas like Red Dead Online it wasn't for.
That's true. Yeah.
Redemption.
So is there a question we can narrow towards Red Dead without saying is it Red Dead?
Oh yeah. So like we should probably start with like, is this like an open world game? Like I think that would like help eliminate a lot of stuff. Or we could ask if we could just go for the gold and say, is it Rockstar developed? If we, it's kind of, that's like high risk, high reward.
Yeah, because it would narrow it down instantly. But at the same time, if the answer is no, we haven't learned a ton.
Yeah.
Do we play it safe or do we take the gamble?
You want to do the honors, Bobby?
We have 2 question options.
You're muted.
Yourself.
See, wait 1 second, because now I'm wondering if it's a 2K game.
That would still be, I think,
it's Rockstar 2K.
Yeah, Take-Two Interactive. Yeah, not 2K in like the sense of like NBA 2K, but like it's the same parent company, Take-Two Interactive. That would actually narrow it down.
Take-Two might be just as solid in general.
Because that would. BioShock earlier in 2 had that bullshit multiplayer mode too, but I don't know if you
agreed.
That one.
Yeah. Is it in the 2K family?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Brings it back to you, Erika.
Back to me. Okay. 2 does not have. Okay, it's a 2K game. I don't know enough about Red Dead to know if there's like RPG elements in it, and I also don't know enough about I'm pretty sure I know more 2K games than I think I do, but I don't know how many of them have RPG heavy elements, and I don't know if like Red Dead had them.
There was very light RPG stuff. Like you could, I think, like certain guns had like better stats.
Also, I don't know where RPG came from, so I don't think that was a question.
No, there's no other question so far. We're trying to brainstorm a question because I know.
Yeah, like
well, so
elements.
RPG elements. I don't know if Bioshock actually counts as an RPG. I think it should. No, it does.
I would call Bioshock a light action RPG because you can absolutely customize your plasmids and your tonics and things like that.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I would say like let's first or third
Well-
person might be a good like.
Well, how about let's take a pause. What 2K games have won a Game Award?
I don't know. We can't look it up.
I don't know either.
I don't have that pulled up, but I would assume a lot of them because when you
Yeah.
just mentioned Bioshock and Rockstar Games alone, those are all the awards.
That's true.
What was the one that was like Overwatch?
Oh, gigantic.
Battle.
Yeah,
Battleborn.
Multiplayer.
But multiplayer
Battleborn.
would have been a massive part of that.
That
though.
was
That's
also
all.
a PS4, Xbox One generation game,
Yeah.
which is not this.
This is either going to be prior or current gen. I think priors might be a better bet.
Red Dead and Bioshock 2 had multiplayer components that weren't huge. I mean, I'll go ahead and ask if it was a Rockstar game.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
There we go. We could have. We have the questions to spare, so it's fine.
Where
At
we
this
at?
point, though, we can just start asking of the 3 Rockstar games that exist, right?
yeah. I feel like again, there's no way it's GTA 5 because like a GTA Online is massive.
Yeah.
Like and is this a cowboy game that came out in the 360 generation?
Yes, it is.
Is it Red Dead Redemption?
No, it is not. You lose. It's Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare.
That's not.
Nope, it's a
game.
completely
Huh?
different game. It is itself. It has its own disc. It is its own game.
What is? Okay, there was a what?
It's DLC
Red
though.
Dead?
I don't
I don't
know.
know what this is.
I'll
I
give you
know
half
it came with
credit.
its own disc. It's because like you like downloading shit back in the day was like
So-
thinking.
When you go into Google and you put in Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare comes up in the drop down and it's called an expansion.
It is
Yeah.
definitely an expansion.
I'll give you half
Does
points
it
because it
count?
did. When I'm looking here, it did get its own video game award as its
Standalone.
own standalone thing
Oh, what
As
they get?
best DLC.
for
Oh.
the Spike Video Games Awards. So,
Which is what it
Uh,
was. Yeah.
which is what the VGAs used to be. So I'll give you half credit.
Okay, that's fair. Good compromise.
We'll
yeah.
take it.
I wanted to trip you up specifically with it being Undead Nightmare, which is why I chose it over just normal Red Dead Redemption. So it worked
Okay.
out.
I would consider that to be DLC or an expansion.
Its own game. It's all good. All right. Do you guys want one more?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we got to do 2 more.
Question 1: is it DLC? No, I'm kidding. That's
I was about to say,
no,
we
no,
can
no,
go.
no, no, no,
All right.
no, no, no.
I'm on to my next game. Go ahead and ask me the question.
What did we ask last time?
Okay. Your time period is usually a good place to start, but you can also start with genre or something. You gotta start wide and kind of go in.
Yeah. Okay, well, so we'll start with a date, I guess. Was it oh god. Was it after January 2000?
Yes.
Was it after 2010, January 1st, 2010?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So we're down to that same 11-year window.
Time period. Yeah, okay. Did we want to go exclusive or not again, or
Bobby, whatever you want. If you want to narrow it down to platform, you can go there.
Sure. Is it an exclusive platform
No.
game?
So that's like they gets rid of most like Nintendo, PlayStation, all that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna run on the same questions. Is there a major multiplayer component?
I'm going to say no. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure no on this one.
That's a great question though. Like I like that because like so many games that are like out from the last 5 or 6 years, that is absolutely the case. So I like that. Is there a character creator in this game? I'm gonna go there as well.
No, there's not.
It can also be sports games, by the way.
Unless it's sport. Well, does every sports game these days have a character creator in them?
Yeah,
Oh no, they
absolutely.
have for a long time, haven't they?
My player mode. That's how 2K makes their money.
Yeah.
You're up, Bobby. You muted.
Is it an EA game?
No, it is not.
God, I like the Game Award question too. Has it won a Game Award?
No Game Awards for this one.
Okay. So maybe a little more of a lukewarm reception. That's a really good question, actually, because like that.
It takes away all the top contenders, basically. Without multiplayer, though.
Multi-platform. Is there combat in this game?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Is it an indie game?
Ooh, good
No,
question.
it is not.
Good question, Bobby. I like that.
Maybe my question. I spelled game wrong. How many questions are there? 1, 2, 3,
We're at
4,
9.
5, 6, 9. Okay.
Halfway there, almost.
So it's not. So it's a single player experience. There's no character. It's not indie. Not a question to this. UbiArt games do not count as indie, correct? Or do they?
I'm not answering. This is not part of your question. I would not consider it because it's published by a big publisher, so I wouldn't say that those be indie games.
Okay, because it was things like Child of Light and that genre.
I would consider
that-
those
Die Hard
Ubisoft
stuff.
games, even though they're made by smaller teams. I consider them Ubisoft games.
Okay. Or do you consider them? Yeah. So not indies. Okay. Which means they're part of this.
Yeah, those games would potentially be a part of this. You're correct.
Mm-hmm. So it's a character driven, like specifically character driven. Not an indie game. Not EA. There is combat.
Gotta think like lukewarm reception too. I feel like that is gonna help us a lot.
I'm thinking Telltale games
Mm,
because they're not exclusive. They have combat, kind of.
yeah, it's more like quick time events. I don't know. Like
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
there
they
is
might not
combat,
count.
but yeah.
Mhm.
I would say those have combat.
Okay.
You would? Okay. So things like that, things like Life is Strange are kind of what I'm getting because they're absolutely story based. I don't think things like Telltale and I forget who does Beyond a Strange. Jeez Louise.
Life is Strange. Don't
Life
nod.
is Strange.
Don't nod, yeah.
Oh, like are they considered? They're considered indie, right? I don't know who publishes them, but
They're published by Square Enix.
Yeah.
yeah. So they're still like a development studio that would be considered indie, right?
Yeah,
So I
but
think they,
for
like-
this, because it's not self-published, I would not consider it an indie game. Even though the team is small, I would
Okay.
still say that is a Square Enix game. For
Okay.
the purposes of my quiz, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
So we have things like that.
But it's not an
Except-
indie game though, right?
Yeah, so they
indie.
don't count as indie games. So things like Telltale and don't not come into it, except for I don't know if Life is Strange won Game Awards. Anyway, sorry, I'm on that branch and I don't know why. Just because I'm thinking of story-driven single-player game. Well, not story-driven, but like single-player games usually are story-driven, but they don't have to be. I guess like
I mean, it could be like something like a THQ game, like those are usually like when I think of like B tier games, which that those have all but pretty much gone away, or like AA games. Like I think of stuff like Darksiders and Bayonetta, like stuff like that. Where like, and granted, that's I think Nintendo exclusive maybe for Bayonetta, but in any event, like
believe is.
And it eventually came out to everything else.
oh, did it? Okay,
Bayonetta 1.
yeah.
Yeah, that
But
game's like old, isn't it?
But that's like a game that I think of as like well received, well liked, but like not like an award winning like game that has. Anyway, I'm digressing, but when I think of like B tier, AA.
I don't even know the question.
can
Well-
reverse if you want. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess the question is story a major component in this game? Is if like if I said it was like story driven, like is it a heavy component of it, or is the gameplay more the thing?
I'd say gameplay is more the thing.
Okay. Brings us to 10. Do you play this game from the third person perspective?
Yes, you do.
Okay. It's to you, my man, Bobby.
You muted, Bobby. You could always try to narrow it down to generations, timelines, or whatever if you can't think of anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have no clue.
I feel like it's almost a safe bet to say it's probably the bulk of the 2010s were, I say the bulk, 6 years of the 2010s were last gen, and then the rest of it was 360.
Mm.
It's not exclusive. Third person. There's shit like Payday, and like those games too that are kind of like.
Yeah, but there's no multiplayer. There's not major multiplayer.
No, I know. I'm
But-
just saying, like, like
But
some of
things
those.
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's combat. It's not an indie. God, more gameplay than story.
You want to take a crack or you want to pass, Bobby?
I'll pass. Just
Hmm.
because I can't think of anything that would
A
narrow it down.
ton, yeah. Um, is
What happened? Damn.
This is my fault. We're good.
There's combat.
How many questions is it again? 12, 13?
We've done 12, so we have
12. Gotcha.
6 questions and a guess. If my math's right. No.
7 questions, I guess.
Some questions and
Yes.
guess. Okay, so what kind of stuff did we ask last time? A bunch of studios. So I'll guess. Yeah. Was it released first on PS4, Xbox generation, or Xbox One generation?
No.
Okay, so it doesn't mean it didn't come to it, but it didn't release on that. So it released 360 or it released PS5 primarily.
I feel like it's such a small window for current gen that's like.
Yeah. And I don't think anything released on PS5 first and then came to PS4. I think it would have released on both. I don't think backward like that kind
There's like the Demon Souls remake, Ratchet, I think
Those
is
are all
like PS5 exclusives.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This
I'm
game
just
is
saying
not
like
exclusive.
for like generational, like
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So third person with combat. Do you shoot guns in this game?
Yes.
Okay. So we know it's not a slashy game. It still
Yeah.
could be fucking Bayonetta though, god damn it, because it does both.
Well, I don't know when
She
Bayonetta
shoots.
released though.
Um
Because did it release?
I think it's after 2010.
Because it would have released at first that 2010. Oh, my entire household just came in. I might have to mute. So
Sorry.
because it was after 2010 and it's not exclusive. I don't know.
Even Devil May Cry, you shoot guns and stuff. Damn it. Could it be like a Hitman game? Like one of those? I'm trying to think like I feel like the Hitman remakes were all like the Xbox One generation, but there probably were some random ass ones.
What about Fallout? Was it Fallout 4? Third person. Well, actually, I think you could choose your different.
You could, but I think most people would consider that to be first person.
Also, those released on Xbox One, PS4.
Oh, that's
This
right, I
game did
forgot.
originally
Four.
not release there.
3. What's the prior? We could narrow it down like country of origin. Japanese developers versus American developers and things like that. Bob, you want to take a stab?
Damn, I'm trying to think. Because even the Tomb Raider games, the first Tomb Raider, that one came out in PS3.
Yeah,
Xbox.
You're right.
360.
You're right. Yeah, it did. Definitely Gun Combat. But that was really well received. But I don't know if it won awards or not.
Yeah.
I think that was like an 8s and 9s kind of game when it came out. But that was published by Square Enix. Well, we just said it was an indie, so yeah, that would still work. Crystal Dynamics.
Vanquish came out in that bundle with Bayonetta.
I don't know anything about
Crisis?
that game.
It might have been Crisis.
That was Vanquish. Actually. You're talking about.
Is it Vanquish? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Crisis, there's also Crisis, which came to damn near everything, but that's first person. Never mind. Yeah. Toss it down. We either got to nail down the developer or more things about the game specifically. I mean, Tomb Raider would like the remake does fit in that there's no character creation. I don't think the first one had multiplayer. Some of the other ones may have had some stuff.
Yeah, I don't think the first one did.
I think that was just a straight story-driven game.
Yeah, I believe so. Okay, is it a Square Enix game?
No, it is not.
Oh. All right. That brings us to 15.
Getting close, guys.
The only question that we asked was, I think, is it a Square Enix game, Erika? So that's all, and it's not. So, do you want to pass or do you want to take a crack? All right. She's gonna pass. Is this a Japanese developer?
No, it is not.
Okay. So that gets rid of our Bayonettas. That gets rid of our Devil May Cries, I think, right? Because I know Devil May Cry is that also Platinum? Who makes Devil May Cry?
Depends on which one you're talking about.
But I feel like it's
DMC.
Capcom.
Devil May Cry. And yeah.
Those are primarily Capcom, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Could it be a Resi game, like a Resident Evil? But though, like 4 was like GameCube. I think that's after 2010, right? No, it's not, because no, it's definitely not. 4 came out when I was in college, and no. So as much as I'm loath to say it, it could not work. And 5, it had multiplayer. God damn.
Yeah, 5.
It's also a Japanese developer, so I don't know why I'm even going there. Damn. Okay, so there's Gun Combat. It's not a Japanese developer. Moderately received, or maybe well received, but no award winning. Presumably in the Xbox 360 generation, but it could have been. Yeah, because we ruled out Xbox One, right, in PS5. I'm not sure. So Erika's in the text chat here for our podcast listeners for just a couple minutes. And so there's a shooting game that was like aware it was a game, and it guilted you in the loading screens. Are you talking about like Bulletstorm? But I think that wasn't that multiplayer. That's where you did combos and crazy stuff like that. It's third person. We know that as well. Gears of War was definitely multiplayer. Now, when we say multiplayer, like, are you excluding couch co-op from that, Adam, or like, would you include couch co-op as like?
There was no multiplayer whatsoever in this game.
Yeah. Okay. It's also exclusive, but just thinking like Gears, but no. Damn, bro.
How many are we at? You guys can give up if you need to.
16. I don't know. We gotta at least finish this out. You got a question you want to ask, Bobby?
I'm just thinking. Now I said Vanquish. That's all I could think about.
But isn't that Japanese developer as well? Like, isn't that?
Wasn't it Sega?
Yeah, that would be.
Sega published, but Platinum did make that game, so that one would be excluded.
Ooh, Spec Ops: The Line. Is that third person or is that? I never played it. Or is that first?
Spec Ops was third.
Yeah.
Spec Ops: The Line. Yeah.
I know that people like love that, but I don't know if it won awards. Like, I think that's a game that was talked about a lot. But who published that or made that? Do you guys know? I know who wrote it. It's the same guy that he co-wrote.
Was it Walt Whitman? Not Walt Whitman.
Battlefront 2, the campaign. He co-wrote that. But yes,
that'd have been a hell of a Walt
something.
Whitman game. I know that.
It is Walt something.
I think I'm good now. I think it's Spec Ops. Because Adam was like, I don't know what this game is. I definitely Googled what this game was called, and that's what the game that I was talking of was, because I couldn't remember its name.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the right one.
Ask a question. I guess that would. I mean, we got to take a shot somewhere. You don't have to ask like, is it that? But like.
Well, okay. Is it a 2K game?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Did they publish Spec Ops?
Yes.
Okay, so that brings us to 17.
17. 2 more questions, 1 guess.
Okay.
It feels good to be able to stump you guys. Not gonna lie.
Now, is Rockstar under the 2K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just checking. Because I was thinking of Max Payne, but that's Rockstar.
What do we think? It Just Cause is first person, right?
No, I don't think so. I think Just Cause is third. Yeah, that's like, I think we're barking up the right tree with those. What's the other one? There's like another one in that. What's the silly one? Saints Row. Like, are those third person or first person?
I think Saints Row's third. Oh.
I feel like it could be one of those as well.
Didn't Saints Row have multiplayer?
I don't know. I've never played them. Like, I don't know anything about either of those games. I know Just Cause is all about causing mayhem and like, wild shit that you can do.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and I don't think either of those games won awards either. And I don't know what era. I don't know which one came out when. Is the thing.
Yeah, no.
I think
I'd just be
I
happy
was
if
like
we got down to the series, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. I was very much a PlayStation 3 person, and it was for all the Japanese exclusives, which are both ruled out. So here we are.
Yeah, why couldn't it be fucking Shadow of the Colossus or Eco or something?
It'd be too easy.
Yeah. Because so those are what I'm thinking right now. Isn't Just Cause? No, Far Cry. Far Cry is what I'm thinking.
That's first person.
Just Cause is one. Far Cry is first person. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that this game has a silly or silly-ish demeanor to it?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
Not silly.
So, Bobby, you get one more question, then we have to guess it.
Jesus.
So I think that would eliminate definitely Saints Row, probably Just Cause as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think of like what other big publishers or like get like game series are we missing?
THQ.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it could be like one of the Darksiders games, but I don't remember if you shoot guns in those. You definitely have swords and stuff. It's kind of post-apocalyptic, so like there might be guns. I think there is guns in Darksiders actually. I seem to recall like a fight on horseback where you had to shoot some guns at something. Could be like one of those, like that. You definitely play as ouch! I just banged my heel on this fucking chair. George just asked me if I've ever done it. I'm like, no. What kind of idiot? Like I've never come close to that, and I just did it. It fucking hurts. Ow. I don't know, man. Yeah, just shot in the dark, Bobby. You can. I won't be mad.
Any random question, and then we can go from there.
I'm trying to think. Sniper Elite with Sniper Elite, third person.
Mm-hmm.
That's shooting with combat.
Yeah,
but
there's
multiplayer.
Yeah.
Is it 50 Cent Blood in the Sand?
No. Don't guess yet. Don't guess yet.
No, you said not goofy. No, it's yeah. I'm just thinking about games from back then. I missed the boxing games, but they were EA.
We know there's shooty combat in this.
Yeah. Damn. If I was only in the room with all my games, I would try to narrow it down. I guess I could ask about THQ.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, is it a THQ game?
No, it is not.
I mean, at least it gets rid of the Darksiders and stuff. So we have to like throw a complete shot in the dark. So let's take a couple minutes, and you know, we might as well go down swinging.
I love this. Not gonna lie. And once you guys give me your guess, which is gonna be wrong. There's no way it's gonna be right. And I tell you what it is, you're gonna be like, oh damn, we fucked up. But I can't wait. Go ahead and deliberate.
I don't know. Is it gonna be DLC again?
I hope not.
Well, let's remember he likes cowboys and pirates.
Cowboys and pirates.
Was Army of Two? Isn't that or Call of Juarez one of them?
That's co-op. That's co-op. Sorry.
So did we agree if co-op counted as multiplayer or not?
I think so.
I said if co-op would count as multiplayer.
So there's no multiplayer whatsoever.
Okay, no multiplayer. There's no character creator. Did anything for some reason I'm also thinking like character like Ratchet and Clank obviously is not it, but were there anything like that was released multi-platform?
On the 360 era?
Yeah, like a Jak and Daxter or something. I don't know how old those are.
Banjo-Kazooie, I don't know much about.
Oh, Ukulele was PS4.
Yeah. See, the way he's saying that, I feel like it's something like real obvious that we're probably missing. That would be like a first person, moderately received, not indie, from like the 360.
But didn't win awards is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of games that not Japanese developed either, which is throwing me because would have sworn.
Uses guns. I feel like we're gonna get caught in a technicality on one of these. We're like, technically, it's a gun. Oh goodness.
Yeah, because like Assassin's Creed 3, like you can load a pistol and shoot it. You know, because it's in the Revolutionary War and stuff. Is this Assassin's Creed 4? I'm just gonna guess that.
No, it is not.
Damn it.
Is it an Assassin's Creed game?
So here's what's funny, right?
Is it Damnation?
No, it's not Damnation. The game was developed in Bulgaria. So that would have been a tough time for you. It released originally on 360 and PS3, later re-released in 2018 for Xbox One and PS4, and 2019 for Switch. So it did come to the last gen consoles as we have them now.
Yeah, I figured.
It is Assassin's Creed Rogue. So your shot in the dark was very close. It's the one Assassin's Creed game that literally no one liked, and it came out on the last gen console. The new ones are out. Yeah. So if you would have gone your questioning from the first game, you would have gotten here, but you went completely
maybe because that's not one that I played or know anything about. So I don't know if I truthfully like.
Well, if he would have been like, is it an Ubisoft game? Like, you would have immediately been like, it's probably
I was going to say that, but I wasn't.
Yeah. Also, hey, what did I say? We're going to get caught on a technicality of technically it has guns. What?
There's guns.
Technically it has guns.
There's cannons. You have flintlock pistols. You have guns. Yep. You didn't say primarily use guns. You said, is there guns in the game?
Guns in the game.
Yes, there are guns in the game.
Well, and like I knew that because I was like, well, there's like guns in Bayonetta, but that's not your primary mode of attack, for example.
Yeah.
All right, let's fly through this last one.
Oh, God. Speed round?
Yeah, speed round. Okay,
I've got it up. Go for it.
Did developed by EA?
No.
It's not EA. Is it exclusive?
No.
Was it released before January 1st, 2010?
No.
He likes the recent games. Same fucking 11-year period that we're in. God damn it.
That's a good period.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and we only used one question on it this time instead of two. I like it. Is it developed by a Japanese studio? That was a good problem.
No, it is not.
Back to you, Bobby.
I'll skip her now because all I'm thinking about is THQ games now.
Is there a character creator?
Nope.
Was it initially released on, like, was it primarily released on PS4, Xbox One?
Yes. Wait a minute. What do you mean? Primarily released. Let me check this.
Is it Just Dance? Don't answer that. It's not Just Dance. It's an EA game.
Is it Just Dance?
Was
So
like
you're saying at initial release, was it on?
so yeah, when it's not it came out on PS4, but it was initially released on 360. Like, when it launched, was it for PlayStation, Xbox One, or was it like, as opposed to it being for 360 and then brought to next gen? Was it? Let me rephrase that. Repeat it one more time. Was it initially released on PS4, Xbox One?
Here's
as
I'll answer
its
your
primary
question.
as its primary generation.
Here's I'll answer your question. It was on 360, PS3, and Xbox One, PS4.
Okay, so cross-generational.
Okay.
That narrows down the time period fairly
Is it an indie game?
No, it is not an indie game. Eric, you kind of got me on that because if I just answered yes or no, it would have thrown you guys off from when it was released. So, because it's a cross-generational game, so whatever.
Okay,
You guys
but
are
that
free
also
one.
implies it's like a launch window, as
Yeah.
well.
Maybe.
With that,
Or like just a game that didn't require like the power of the, because there's here, you said it's not an indie, right? So
Not an indie.
yeah. Let's see. And
so it's not exclusive, not EA.
is this an open world game?
Yes. Sort of. I will not give you an answer and I will not charge you a question because this is difficult to answer.
Okay, fair enough. There's no character. Are there any like? Does this have like, I would say, like moderate to heavy RPG mechanics? Like,
I'd
can you
say
spec
yes.
spec stuff? Okay,
I would say yes.
all right. That's very helpful.
Just for a little extra help, I would say I'm more on the moderate side.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe Shadow of Mordor or something like that. That was like
yeah, what I was
cross
thinking too.
generational and like it's open world, but like not very big. At least the first game wasn't very big.
Mm-hmm. Who
Also,
that's,
Arkham games would be kind of sort of too.
Yeah. Who did
Made WB?
WB did Batman. Did they also do Lord of the Rings? Okay.
Did
I mean,
indeed.
is it a WB game?
Nope.
Damn it.
There we
All
go.
right. Like, that does get rid of all the Arkham games though. And
Mhm. I guess it's off that trail.
Got a question, Bobby?
I was thinking Ubisoft, but I don't want to go
You can
that route.
if you want.
We were rapid
Just
fire.
trying to think. Yeah, sure. Is it an Ubisoft game?
No, it is not. That would have helped you last time, not this time.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
I mean, it
I'm
helps
just
this
covering
time.
my bases now.
Yeah, it knocks a lot off, to be fair. Moderate RPG elements, not indie. Did it win a Game Award?
I will have to look and see if it actually won a game award.
It'll be 10.
I'll let you know the answer in a quick second.
Okay. Open world ish.
The static character that you can somewhat spec or RPG.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't be like an Inquisition, Dragon Age Inquisition. kind of
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Those are a lot.
Although you can character create, so that wouldn't be that anyway. But
So you're saying that it win a game award from the Game Awards?
Yeah, from the Jeff Keighley, Mr. Keighley's Game Awards.
Now you're gonna say, did it win or is
whatever.
it nominated?
I think nominated gives us more games, but also like more games get nominated. Although your question makes me think that it was nominated and it didn't win.
Well, I looked down at the year for the awards, and I want to make sure before I give you an answer.
Do I want to narrow it
nominated
to...
for DLC, which will make it No Man's Sky.
Oh, come on.
Oh God, that's an option.
Hey, it was nominated, yeah. But he didn't answer. But that's
Yeah. Do we want nomination or win?
I'll leave that up to you.
Oh, why have you done this? Okay, so if we one, did it win?
Did it
I'm
win at
really-
the Game Awards
Yeah,
specifically?
or whatever that precursor to it was you guys talked about.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was around the
Jeff
platform.
Keighley Awards, whatever.
Yeah.
No.
The Jeff Keighley. Does Mr. Keighley give it an award?
No, it did not win an award for Jeff Keighley.
Okay, so I'm trying to like, because like that was that genre that was that time period where like open worlds were really becoming huge. That kind of defined the 360, generation. I don't think it would be like a Rockstar ish game, but I think we're on the right track with like Shadow of Mordor type or like Arkham type game. trying to think like more cross.
Well, you said no Rockstar. What about Bully? When did Bully come out?
That's PS2 era.
Is it?
Yeah. Actually, it might be 360. But it could be like something like
because I do know that it got released again as like Ultimate Editions, I think recently.
And so did the LA Noire, which was like
Now to help you, I did say it launched initially as a
Yes.
cross-gen sort of.
Right, okay, that's fair.
Oh.
The
Okay,
re-releases
okay.
wouldn't really help it. I'll
Yeah,
charge
yeah.
you another question for that.
you will charge us another question, you said? Okay, so that's 11.
Boo. Got no character creator.
I don't want to assume that it definitely is third person, but I don't want to burn a question asking that either. I feel like if it's open worldish, it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a Japanese developer.
Open world is that's so it's not indie.
It could be that, not to like drag us down into the weeds again, could be, I think that Tomb Raider game had like a dual release as well, the original, but it may have been a re-release as well.
Tomb Raider's Ubisoft, if I remember correctly.
Square.
But there's a
It's
Square.
Square,
Yeah,
it's
they
Square.
have different.
There it
Yeah,
is.
it's Square
Yeah.
and Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah.
But
There
there's
it
like
is.
some backtracking. and
I
stuff like
had
that.
Montreal. I got that city, right?
Yeah.
Oh goodness. All I've got is like Horizon, and I know it's not Horizon because A, it came out in 2017. B, it's an exclusive.
Mhm.
And C, I think it's all of the issues. It's very much all of those things. But here we are.
There's light RPG because you can like customize guns and stuff. I don't know if I'd consider it modern RPG. All right, I gotta.
Is
Is-
gunplay a major component?
Yes.
Okay, gunplay is a major component. If it's open worldy, it's probably not sci-fi. So I don't want to ask
Is it a
about.
Call of Duty?
Well, if it's open worldy with RPG mechanics, there's no way it could be like.
Yeah,
hard,
right. Yeah.
Like
I did say moderate RPG mechanics.
moderate. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but I
know.
don't think Call of Duty at that time had anything other than pick up new gun.
Yeah.
But what about like chronological? Is there like a 1, 2, 3?
Ooh, no. I was gonna say, did any of the Dead Space games come out cross-gen? But I don't think they did. I think they were all last
Does
gen.
anybody remember what the
Or like the Yakuza games?
Yeah, there's
Did we-
those.
Did we say anything about Japanese?
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, we
It's
did.
not.
I mean, do we want to ask if it was a PS4 launch window? Because I don't remember. Or I keep saying PS4 because I can't understand the Xbox nomenclature.
Sure.
But we can ask that, especially if we're lightning rounding it and just throwing spaghetti at the wall.
I did already answer that. Yes, it is.
It's kind
It is
of
that
why-
generation
well,
and then
you-
also on the left.
You just phrased it weirdly, so I wasn't sure if it was launch window of PS4 or what.
It came out on that
'Cause-
generation and the last, but it was
Sony.
that window.
They're shooting.
Yeah. So what was launch window? That was cross-platform.
Uh,
I mean, back to Just Causes and those kind of things.
yeah.
Just Cause, Far Cry.
Metal Gear. Wasn't there like a Metal Gear game that came to both?
It was 5, wasn't it? 4?
Was
5?
it? Could have been 5. That's Japanese
4?
developer though. Fuck.
Yeah, it's coming.
that's
God damn it.
Kojima. Yeah.
All right. So
God, what was PlayStation? What were those launch games?
does this game have what you would consider to be like a realistic graphics or like a realistic art style aesthetic?
Yes.
Okay. I was just thinking if it's something like on the sillier side, like if it's
Yeah.
cartoony or something.
What else we have? Far Cry 4 comes to mind. I mean, it's sillier, but it's got the realistic aesthetic. I also don't know. I don't know when any of these games came out.
Well, they said no Ubisoft, right?
No,
Right? Yeah.
That's a
How many
good.
questions we on now, by the way?
We're on
Was that
14.
14?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did we ask about multiplayer yet?
Yes, right? Or was that last game?
We definitely did last time. It's not EA, not exclusive. After 2010, not Japanese, no character creator, cross-gen, not indie, open world-ish, moderate. We didn't ask about multiplayer.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah,
Go
so
for it.
was multiplayer a major component of this game?
Is it a major component? No.
Leads me to believe that it might be. So that's 15.
Maybe the Souls games.
Those Japanese developers for like
And-
if you go in the official route.
And we do have major gunplay. We haven't narrowed down.
What about
a lot of-
Warframe? Warframe, was that cross generational or was that only?
Oh yeah,
on
that
the-
started from PS4 up,
But Warframe's a multiplayer game.
and it's on PC,
and it's
all
be major, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and it's beautiful.
I know you love. That's why I asked. I'm like, well, Bobby.
Oh, I really wish y'all would play. I freaking like it.
Unrelated to everything, just for a quick tangent story, I had a friend of mine that played Warframe, but I didn't know what it was, and I was getting a lot of like this other game that had like War or Frame in the title, so I was convinced for the longest time that Warframe was a boat game, like a boat a sea warfare game,
World of
and I was like,
Warships.
World of Warships. Yeah, I got it confused with World of Warships. God knows why. But I guess Warframe and Warship just combined. And I was like, you play the boat game. And he's like, you should come play this game. And I was like, I am not interested. I'm so sorry. Thinking it's about boats. Anyway,
That's really awesome.
there's your tangent story.
How long did that go on? Pray tell.
An embarrassingly long time. I don't think it was until either I think a YouTuber that I was watching started playing Warframe and just posted like a video about it. And I was like, that's what a Warframe is? Uh-oh.
That's awesome.
So years. This is like I'm thinking like 4 or 5 years. I was convinced it was a boat game.
Division. That's primarily multiplayer
Ubisoft.
though. And Ubisoft. God damn it. What's another
Ubi.
fucking game like that though? Like, all right, shooting like semi-open world, like with like light RPG mechanic. I get this is another thing where I feel like
Okay, Just Cause and Far Cry, like that genre of game. What are the other ones? Just Cause. I said Just Cause.
it really could be a
Don't
Just
cause.
Don't Cause.
Don't cause.
That's the studio that made Life is Strange.
I guess it's platform. Like now, would you do some bullshit where if it was like on PC and Xbox, you'd consider it to be like not platform exclusive?
No, I mean, I would let you know. I would. Yeah, it was on Xbox and PlayStation.
Okay, yeah,
For sure. Yeah, that's what you guys are looking for. Yes.
Because I was thinking like Sunset Overdrive is kind of that like RPG,
yeah.
semi-open world. They're shooting, but it was definitely not on PlayStation. You could go for like on one of the who publishes that? Is that a 2K Take-Two game? Did we say?
Sunset Overdrive is. Oh my god.
Well, no. Sunset Overdrive is Insomniac, and it didn't come to PlayStation,
There it is, yeah.
so it can't be that. But I mean, like Just
Insomniac
Cause.
was what I was trying to think of. Yeah, we can.
Like, is
We
that
did Just Cause. I don't
is it
know. I don't know.
Avalanche? Oh, Mad Max. Mad Max was like an open world RPG-ish game. That was third person.
Who did it?
Avalanche
It
Studios.
was Avalanche. Okay. Bobby, you're muted again, by the way. If you made a comment.
It didn't win award, right? It did not win.
The game that we're guessing
Yeah,
did not win the award. I don't know
Okay.
about Mad
Yeah,
Max.
and
I win at the Game Awards. No, it did
Oh
not.
yeah, specifically wins the Game Awards, and I don't think Mad Max won a Game Award.
Oh, so it didn't win at the Game Awards. I love how you're emphasizing
Yeah.
Game Awards, so it won it somewhere else.
That was the specifics of the
You
question.
asked for
Maybe-
winners at
maybe
a
just
specific
saying,
show, and that's
yeah.
what I gave you.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
so
mean,
let's hope that it
I think
was-
Mad Max or like a Just Cause can ask about Avalanche Studios. Shot in the Dark.
Go for it.
Is this developed by Avalanche?
Nope.
God damn it.
Okay. So okay. Shooting games that have open world elements with a lot of gunplay.
Was it 16, 17?
16, I think. Yeah. I dropped my
Yeah.
fingers, but
Didn't win a Mr. Keeley award. I don't know, because if I say Game Award, it doesn't mean much. Do we want to try and?
Shit, I would have played back then.
Because it was a launch window. If only I cared more about Xbox games back then, but I didn't.
It's on your platform too. God damn it.
It was, but the thing is that I don't know what's cross-platform.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Darksiders didn't have any shooting, right?
There's like some light shooting and like RPG, but I think for a fact like the OG version launched on just the one. I think it's the remastered, like because it's called the War Mastered edition. Dead Rising's Capcom. Otherwise, I'd say that was a possibility. Titanfall was exclusive and first person. I'm just trying to think of all the shit that I picked. A lot when those things came out.
Dead or Alive?
Is that the volleyball game, or am I thinking of something else?
No, to be fair, I was like, I think Dead or Alive is the one that's not the volleyball game. No, I'm thinking Dead or Alive. I think is the volleyball game. Dead Island, I think, is what I'm thinking of.
Dead Island is first person, but there's a zombie game that's like.
We don't know if it's third person or not. I don't think we asked that. That was last time.
Oh yeah.
So it's a zombie game. It's first person. I'm pretty sure it was on Xbox as well as PlayStation. I know it was on PlayStation. It's open world ish. There's also the zombie games, the one where they're in like the mall and stuff like. I don't know which one that game is either.
That's Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Okay.
But there's like the Dead by Daylight, or not Dead by Daylight. But it's like it's the one that like the sequel's been the parkour one. I think that's first person, where you could parkour and it like there's like when it gets dark outside, shit like.
Oh god, yeah. What is that? The second game looks so cool.
Dying Light.
There it is.
And then there's State of Decay.
Mm-hmm.
That's multiplayer though. State of Decay.
Mirror's Edge.
Just throwing out shit now.
Hey, Mirror's Edge head shooting. You talk about running off walls.
Do you fight?
Say that. Wait a second. Keep going.
Do you fight against? Is this primarily like a like horror like based, like not horror but horror based like genre along with the shooting?
It is not primarily horror based.
Well, okay, so that would theoretically take out
any zombie
the zombie games because they're primarily like horror themed.
Yeah.
That's 17. Gears is exclusive.
Yeah. What about Aliens? Is there anything where you fought against aliens that would have come out at the time with some shooty stuff, light RPGs?
Yeah, is it like post-apocalyptic?
Can I ask him?
Rage. Is that third
person or is that for first person though? I think that's first person in it. Oh, we don't know if it could be. Actually, it could be.
We haven't asked.
Could be.
Yeah, Rage or Rage 2. Mm-hmm. Well, Rage 2.
Were there any BioShock games that came out around that time? Because those are also
Infinite was the most recent, but that was like strictly 360 until the remasters came out.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. There was the Borderlands pre-sequel. Did we ask if it was 2K though? No. There's the Borderlands. 2K this time. There's the Borderlands pre-sequel. That was definitely a cross-generational launch because I remember fighting with one of my friends about like where to buy it, and I was like, I have a shiny new console.
And that wasn't the huge RPG.
That's silly though. That does not have realistic graphics. We asked about.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it doesn't look like a.
I like Robbie's Rage idea, maybe potentially.
Really quickly, I'll clarify something, even though it's whatever. So, the game did launch cross-generational, but doesn't necessarily mean it's a launch game for the next generation. I will say that if that helps at all. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a next-gen launch game. It just came out on both gens.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think it's something that came out in the first 6 months necessarily.
But when it did release, it came out simultaneously on the 360.
Both.
Why?
The old one and the new one. Yep.
What in the world?
I think it could be Tomb Raider or Rage or something. I don't know. We're at like question. We have, I think, a question and a guess left.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the timeline, just being like, oh, if it's not necessarily the next 6 months, I don't want you to be like, that's not,
Yeah, that's not a launch window.
Because the Xbox One came out in like November 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it didn't come out, in like May 2014, you're like, that doesn't count as cross-gen. It's like,
Yeah.
That's what I'm clearing myself up on.
Bobby, come on, man. Give us a good, just lock and load something and fire it off, and we'll see what happens. I don't think we're gonna get this. So,
who made Rage? Do we want to try and just narrow it down to see if it is
That ID software?
yeah,
Bethesda maybe? ID software?
I think you're right. It's id, but for the first one anyway. I don't know about the second one. Could it be some fucking weird Dishonored shit? Could be Dishonored.
Was Mag 3 on both?
Dishonored had a
3,
definitive
Mag.
edition that was like close to like launch, but it was originally like 360. There's some light RPGs. I bet you that was nominated, but probably didn't win.
Is Dishonored? What is Dishonored?
Dishonored's a Bethesda, and it's
Bethesda.
Arcane.
Yeah,
Arcane.
he said he wouldn't do a Bethesda Activision game.
No, he said Activision.
Blizzard
Blizzard.
Activision.
Blizzard. I'm sorry, not Bethesda. Oops.
Pick a direction.
Dishonored didn't have major gunplay though, right? Dishonored was a.
You do have a crossbow. Oh yeah, he did say it was.
Yeah,
like,
we made sure to ask about
God
major
damn it,
gunplay
yeah.
this time.
I don't know. I think it's going to be like a Tomb Raider or a Just Cause.
I think Tomb Raider focuses too much on using bow and arrow to be considered major gunplay.
There's by the time
Well,
you
the
get
first
to,
one they used guns. Yeah,
lots
by
of
the time you
guns.
got to the second.
Oh,
one,
was it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you just start off with a bow, and then it's like a lot of shooty bang bangs.
No, that was a Square game. Did we ask if it was Square or not? That last.
No, WBUB, Avalanche, EA. Anyway, so yeah, who does Rage? Oh, Bethesda does Rage, don't they? We can ask about Bethesda.
Oh, I know
software,
id.
yeah.
I'm not sure.
or is id?
I'm not sure who published. Like,
Well,
I don't
no,
know
we do know that Bethesda publishes it because they had that big concert at the Bethesda showcase for Rage 2.
for 2.
And it
Yeah.
came out all
I don't
wacky.
know if one was like one of those weird things where it was
Before it was published by
to-
Bethesda, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, Rage or Tomb Raider, man. Ask a question to clarify, and then we can.
We'll pick the other one.
We're just gonna live with our
man.
consequences.
Tomb Raider's a Square game, right?
Yeah.
Rage is it? Oh man.
You
Square
could
nails
nail it down by
But-
third person or first person because I think Rage is first. And you could just we could guess.
Yeah, is it a third-person game?
Yes, it is.
That's Tomb Raider.
Is this one left?
Yeah,
I
this
think
One
is
left
gonna
on
be
the
a guess.
answer, or is this the answer?
I think we have
I think-
to go for the guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to shoot whatever.
I mean, this would be the hardest, so it would be weird if you picked it, but also, fuck it, let's go for it. Is this Tomb Raider, the remake?
No, it is Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh,
I knew you were
gonna do that.
What?
It is the second game.
And that
What?
launched. That launched on 360.
Yeah, I was like,
looking.
it came out on 360 and Xbox One at the same time in 2015.
I would not call that launch window. That is.
No, so I said specifically it's not launch window. That's why I was
Okay,
like, so
I
you guys
know.
don't call me out. It's not launch window.
Yeah.
It came out on both though, which is
God, we got so close on
So many.
on a lot of them.
our
we did.
guesses. I mean, all of them we had the right
That was a
games,
timed exclusive,
series,
though,
right? Like we got down to the
It
series.
did come to PS4 like a year later. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in the series. I think for
all of them. Red
for
Dead,
all of them.
For Tomb Raider.
Red Dead,
and
we
for
got
Assassin's Creed.
we got robbed on Red Dead,
Yeah,
which
I
seems
agree.
fitting. But
All right, awesome. Well, we stretched that almost out to a 2-hour episode, so I hope you guys enjoy listening to our abject failure for this week.
look again, not abject failure. We got close.
I know, I was exaggerating for effect. We will be back next week, and we're going to be doing a Game of the Year check-in. I know, like, kind of behind the scenes stuff. You won't be at D&D. Will you be able to join us next week, Erika?
No, I will be at a cottage next week.
Cottage. That sounds
But
relaxing.
don't worry. The only 2 games I've played this year are League of Legends and Pokemon Snap. So
Sweet. All right, so you don't mind abstaining.
Pokemon Snap just
Yeah.
got new free DLC. Yeah.
oh, I've started it. I'm very excited to actually get into all the things and see all the new Pokemon. I'm very excited.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like a nice relaxing time in the cottage. Enjoy that. But yeah, we'll be checking in next week and doing a Game of the Year watch as we kind of close out and get into the final quarter of the year. We'll be looking back at some of the big releases and talking through maybe where like our personal picks are. Anybody want to plug anything before we go?
I'm back hitting dingers. That's all I gotta say.
And
Both of my eyes are back. My surgeries are all good. So yeah, I can hit that ball again.
I have to make do with one, unfortunately, for the rest of my life. So I envy you. My depth perception has been interesting ever since I lost the vision in an eye. Probably, I'm gonna blame that for why I'm not good at shooters and not age anymore.
That's what it is.
I'll have to tell my Persona 5 Royal story next week because boy, if I could just explain to you all the things I went through when I discovered I almost missed like an entire quarter of that game. Whew.
The point of Royale, you mean?
Yeah, like, and I'm not even a platinum whore, but like I like just through like kind of playing the game like naturally, like almost it got to that point where it's like, well, now I'm gonna go for it because like there's not much to do and I would have missed out on that. And I ain't gonna play 80 hours a game to on something I fucked up on to get back there. So anyway, thanks for hanging in with us on this exercise episode. We will see you next week. Bye.
OG down.